Everybody, welcome to Ep.5 Friday Live. This is the fifth episode, okay, that we have our very special guest tapping in with us tonight. We're definitely going to dive in and learn about her testimony, learn about her journey and her story, things that she's been through, what her life was like as a pro track hurdler, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to transition. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. But wait. Before that, I have to drop these facts for our guest that's tuning in right now. And we'll probably get to those a little bit later. But just to let y'all know, who y'all see in front of y'all right now on this camera, live and in action. She, in 2015, was a USA indoor track and field champ. So she represented the USA the best way that she can and came out on top as a champ. She also is a 7-time All-American, a 5-time SEC champ. Okay, that's SEC, one of the toughest conferences in collegiate sports. Also, she was a 7-time All SEC, and then also in 2011, she also was the SEC Women's Freshman Runner of the Year. Okay, so I'm gonna just drop that right down, y'all. So she's very decorative. Okay, she has a lot of jewelry to show her accomplishments, you guys. So with that being said, if you can lightly introduce yourself, tell us definitely first and last name, where you're from, where you was born and raised, your school you went to, college you went to, and just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm Jasmin Stowers. I am originally from South Carolina, a small town in South Carolina. I ran professional track, but I went to LSU on a full scholarship. And then after that, I ended up running the professional track and field. I got sponsored by Nike. And during that time, I ended up being one of the fastest hurdlers ever in U.S. history. And I recently retired. But it's definitely was a fun, like, transition from going from being number one in high school to being number in the top in the country at LSU, and then being top professional. So I had a good time as an athlete. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's enough just for right now, because we're gonna dive in and get a little deeper along the call. So you mentioned that you're from South Carolina,
Yep.
small town of South Carolina. Can you be a little more specific?
Do you know where Clemson, South Carolina is?
I heard of Clemson,
Clemson,
yes.
yeah. So I'm like 20 minutes from there. So very slow pace, very kind of like a lot of cows, a
Okay.
lot of farmland. So I basically had to go to other areas to get proper training. I didn't really get proper training technically at my high school. I had to do
Okay.
summer programs and
Right.
other things to get seen worldwide. So when I say
Yeah,
small, they're more like small,
I was
small.
gonna ask you about that. What was it like growing up? Was track your first love? Were there other sports that you invested your time in that you were involved in as well? Tell me about that.
Um, yeah, like growing up, my family was very into sports. I played softball, I did basketball, and then track, of course. Back when I was about 8 years old. And then I started running hurdles when I was 11. And that's when I knew that I was really good at what I did. And then from there, I kept winning all the races.
Hmm.
And I got scouted from LSU when I was like 8th grade. Surprisingly, like they sent me a letter in the mail. It was like, we're interested in you. That was like 4 years, then before I can even get signed to any school. So that was pretty cool. But we did all kinds of sports growing up. Very athletic family.
How excited were you at that point as an eighth grader? Being recruited by one of the top schools to come and run track there.
I was shocked because I never knew that like I could be one of the best athletes at the time.
Hmm.
But to see someone see my potential and so young was like, wow, like I have potential to be the best in the world. And that's what I strived for even after college.
Okay, cool. So, with all the sports that you played, softball, you said basketball as well.
Yep.
You started running track. Okay, you started running track, but then you transitioned into being a specific hurdler. What
Mhm.
made you make that transition from just running? And I was going to ask you that, like, what were some of the events that you were involved in? What made you choose to stick to being a hurdler as opposed to sprinting and or long distance running?
I think at first I ran the 400, and that was tough. I think I was coming in last place, to be honest. Like
So
it
you weren't
was
feeling that. You say, nah,
no,
last place ain't the
not at
move.
all. No. And then my coach, I was tall, young too. When I was younger, so my coach figured that I might be good in hurdles, so he just tried me in it. And I remember my first year of running hurdles, I made it to junior Olympic finals, and I placed eighth place, but it was still potential that like I could get better and better, and get good in this event, and eventually make to college, and and that's
Right.
what happened really.
You made a name for yourself. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he threw you out there in that fire out there. Again, it definitely was fire, but you went from running the 400 coming in last to doing a lot better in the hurdles.
Yep.
And you took
Yep.
off with that and ran with it, stuck with it
Yep.
and ran with it.
Yep. Ran with it.
I
Yep.
got you. And you have done a great job. I've definitely been watching some of your highlights, definitely throughout this week and even before today, before this week, been watching your highlights and things of that nature. And you a beast. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh,
was gonna
thanks.
ask you, like, you're fast. You get over those hurdles as if they're not there. You know, what would it look like for you in the 100-meter dash? You know what I'm saying? Or the 60-meter dash indoors and things of that nature. There, you ran that 400, but have you ever tried running just a straight up 100 meters?
Mm-hmm. I have run 100 meters. I ran for about one in college, but I know one thing that got me to LSU was my coach was like, I'll only run the hurdles. I was like, okay, yes, because LSU, like all the girls were so good.
Okay.
So I kind of didn't need to run the hurdles, or
Hmm.
sorry, run the 100. So I was focused on the hurdles then. But I was a decent 100-meter runner, I'll say.
I got
But
you.
definitely, whenever I started running the 4x1, I started getting faster in my hurdles too.
Mhm.
So I think speed and the 100 hurdles really were like two things that came in common to do.
So let me ask you, at a young age, you played against softball and also basketball. How were you able to, leave those two sports, which were team sports? You had other people around you to motivate you and things of that nature, very close. Then going to track where you by yourself in that lane. Like what
Mm-hmm.
what did it take for you to say, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna say I don't need a team, but I think I can do this, one on one.
I think I stopped like softball at a younger age, but I
Okay.
continued to do basketball until I think my sophomore year in high school. But I stopped because I was decent in it, but I wasn't great.
It was a
So
hobby in a sense.
yeah, 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 it was a hobby, something to do with my friends and have fun. But I wasn't that great at it. And I knew that if I wanted to be like really great in track, I needed to like dim that light into that and focus on that. So
Focus on track. And
yeah,
that's what you did. And again,
yeah,
you took off with it. So
yeah.
we gonna take off with it too. So you got interest as a you say as an eighth grader from
Um,
schools.
and what?
You say you got interest from schools as an eighth grader.
Oh yeah, yeah. In schools, yep, yep,
Right.
yes.
So then transitioning to high school, what was your high school career like? You mentioned that you went to the Junior Olympics.
Yep.
Was that talk to us about that?
My junior year in high school, I was ranked number one in the nation. So that
In the
year,
nation.
yeah, in the nation. So from high school, I was like I think I was overall a 17-time state champion. So in high school, I did for my school because it's a smaller school. I did
Hmm.
the 100. I did
You was
the
doing everything.
400 hurdles. Yeah, I did every 200, everything. So I won state a lot. But I still was really good in hurdles. And my junior year ended up being number one hurdler in the nation. I won Nike Nationals at the time. That was the um, top event for high schoolers. I won that, and then after that, I got like a whole bunch of offers from a whole bunch of schools. Like I don't know how
So
many
they
schools. It
started
was a lot.
flooding in.
Yeah, it was flooded. Like it was a lot, a lot.
Gotcha. So how did you make that decision on going to LSU and coming to LSU?
I know we got to take 5 official visits.
Uh-huh.
I think took 5, I think, or 4.
Where
I went
to?
to Yeah, I went to Texas A&M, went to University of Miami, Florida State, and LSU.
Right.
And
Gotta throw it
LSU,
up.
yeah, like LSU just had a different vibe. And like knowing the history of sprint hurdlers and sprinters, I knew that it was best for me. And the culture down there is different, and it all worked out. And I was able to train with some of the best like people if I did go down there, like Lolo Jones and stuff. So I knew that I had good training partners as well.
Gotcha. So there wasn't any fear in your heart going there and having to, step up to the plate and get out there and on that track.
I mean, I mean, there's a lot of fear, to be honest. A lot of fear. To be honest, I like struggled the first year because even though I was like number one in the state or number one nation, those girls were, to me, way faster than me at the time. And they knew more drills, So
They
I
were
was kind of,
seasoned.
yeah, very seasoned. And being from a small state, small city, I had to take a little while to get into it. But once I did, like, it was good. But the first year was definitely a little struggle for sure.
So let me ask you, is track similar to football when it comes to your eligibility? Do you get 5 years to, run forward, things of that nature?
Yeah, you get 5 years and 4 years eligibility, but
Eligibility.
within 5 years, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you come straight in and start running as a freshman, or did you redshirt? Did you consider redshirting? Like, what kind of impact did you consider making, or what did you feel like you could bring to that team, to the LSU team at such a young age?
Well, I didn't redshirt. I ended up running. Like I said, I had a hard time at first, but one of the coaches that set me down and was like, Jasmin, you need to get it together. And me having to dig back into like me knowing that I am one of the best people, one of the best hurdlers in the nation, kind of put that back into myself. And that year I ended up winning SEC championship as a freshman and doing well like eventually. But it's definitely, you have to get used to that. But at first I was intimidated, but as time went by with the atmosphere, the great coaches, everything ended up working out and I ended up doing well that year also.
So let me ask you, so you mentioned, several times that you had some up and down moments, can you point out any specific times where you felt like there was a moment of adversity or an obstacle that had hit that you couldn't get over? You know what I'm saying? Or what allowed you, what played a role into that? What adversity did you face?
In college or professional?
Well, in college, 'cause I'm pretty
In
sure
college,
you face some adversity as a pro as well. But up until
yeah.
that point in college where things started to turn over for you, like right up until that point, what kind of adversity or obstacles were you facing? Like, what were you kind of struggling with at the time?
I think I was struggling with like being fit too, because the first freshman 15, you gain weight and you're not like as healthy as you should be as an athlete. So like we would get our body fat tested and a body pod, so we had to make sure we were under a certain amount. I think that was like something I had to overcome too. It was like, okay, I need to get focused and work on myself with that part. And even one period, it was at nationals, and we did well. We actually won national championships, the title, right? And I placed a decent. I think I placed sixth place, and we were cheering. We won national championship, and then about a month or two later, like we were supposed to meet Barack Obama and see the White House and everything, and they came and told us that one of the girls on our team tested positive for some for some stimulus, and that our national championship was taken from us.
Oh man!
So we were like, "What? Oh my god!"
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was something. So after that, like we had to kind of like go back into preparing for next championship when we know we were winners, but
Right.
something happened, and I don't know. It was tough. That was tough year for
Oh
sure.
no, that could be very tough.
Yeah, that was tough.
I don't know how I would respond to that. If
That was
there's
tough.
any bad blood between me and that teammate, or
Right.
I don't
Something.
know. I don't know how I would have handled that one there.
That was rough.
but no, I could definitely see how being impacted by, you said, the freshman 15, things of that nature. Me
Mm,
as a football player, so I wish I gained 15 pounds as a freshman. That didn't work out for me that way. You know what I'm saying? But I could definitely
mm,
understand how fit you would like to be, or what it would take for you to be as an elite track athlete. You know what I'm saying? Running
right.
at the collegiate level, you need to be fit. You need to have you know muscle, you know what I'm saying? Not much body fat and things of that nature that you need to be flying through the wind, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I could definitely see how that there was a tough obstacle there for you to get over, you know what I'm saying? Having the
Mm.
experience and go through that there. Um, excuse me. You spoke on, the things that you ate and stuff like that. Let me ask you, what did you go to college and major
I actually majored in nutritional science. Yep.
in? And was it for that reason? Like, was it
Yeah.
reflecting back off of that freshman 15 experience?
Well, I majored in it before I went to college,
Okay.
but I didn't really start applying it, to be honest, till after I graduated. But I decided to study that because I wanted to use it for my athletics, but also help the community, especially the Black community. We have a high risk of being obese and overweight,
Mhm.
and I wanted to like give back and like help people with their eating habits as well.
Gotcha. Really quick, let me pause, take a short little quick break. I have some fitness gurus in here, some workaholics when it comes to fitness and things of that nature there. So shout out for those who are joining in right now as well. We have Jasmin Stowers here with us, retired or former pro track hurler. Went to LSU, you guys. For those that are tapping in, please hit that paper airplane at the bottom. Share this out to everybody that you know, everybody in your close friends you're following right now. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them below in the comment section. We'll get to those there. You can also hit the question mark at the bottom and type your question in there if you have any questions for Jasmin. Okay, so we're gonna dive right back in. Uh, Jasmin, what are anybody that you looked up to? Any other pro track athletes that you looked up to when it came to you developing your game as a hurler, or your game as a hurler?
Definitely Sally Pearson.
Hmm.
She's a great hurler from Australia. Dawn Harper. She's an amazing hurler as well. Like those athletes really inspired me because they had really great technique and they also knew how to like turn it on when it mattered and then know how to get it done and like they're world champions and Olympic champions. So that's something that my goal was to become.
So you say turn it on, and like,
Yeah, turn it on.
how do you turn that on out there on that track
Love
with
it.
you being a top performer? You know what I'm saying? You coming in first place and you having great success. How do you turn it on from there? You know what I'm saying? You're lining up to people. I don't know what your mindset was like, but if I'm at the top, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out the way. I see y'all at the
Mhm.
next. You know what I'm saying? But how were you able to channel that? Like, what was that like for you out there on the track? Were you going into those meets, into those races, knowing that you were gonna beat the person beside you, knowing that you're gonna beat everybody in that fleet there?
I know that for us hurdlers, for U.S. hurdlers, I'll say, we have the top 10 hurlers in the world. So every time we
Hmm.
race against each other, anybody could win.
Anybody could win.
Yeah, so if you wanted to win that race, you had to like be extra focused. And when I say like turn on, I mean especially for like world championships or Olympic trials, certain like I feel like certain athletes they know how to like get through 3 rounds because usually it's 3 rounds to get to Olympics.
Hmm.
And some people might do good in the first couple of rounds, but then fall off in the last round. And that's one thing that I admired about the other hurlers before I started running was they knew how to get through each round and make a team. But I think it's definitely something you have to like be focused on and focus on your own lane when you're out there because, like I said, anybody could win, and if you don't have that mentality of I'm the best right now, like you're already left in the blocks. So you're already last
Right.
place.
Let me ask you: would you say that running those hurdles are one of the more difficult events within, if
Yeah.
not the hardest?
Yeah, it's one of the hardest because if even if you're like late out the blocks, you might lose the whole race. If you hit one hurdle, you might fall or you might lose the race entirely. So
Yeah.
it's something that requires a whole bunch of concentration, but also technique and speed. So it's definitely hard. It's like
Mm-hmm.
literally running through 10 barriers. Um, and you have to hop over everyone to be the best, to do the good.
Right. And you did very well at that. For those who haven't checked out any of her highlights, please go and watch. You guys, I'm telling you, like I say, she running through them hurdles, running over them hurdles like they're not there, and then get to the finish line like, oh, yeah, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, go ahead and check out her highlights, y'all. It's very enjoying to see. Excuse me. Just based off of my experience, being an observer, a spectator, watching, I think that running those hurdles are very hard. I was on a track team as well in high school. When those hurdles were out there, I just try. I play around with them. I go and run underneath. I go around and just jump over it like it was nothing. But then actually seeing the skill that it takes to go over those hurdles, you got to have some flexibility in my eyes, and you just got to have that will to get over it like you do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was great there. So speak to me about what it was like transitioning from being a collegiate hurler into going into the pros. What was your
Mm-hmm.
mindset like? Did you know that you were going to become a pro track hurler? Throughout your college years, or even through your middle school and high school years, did you know? When did you know you were going to become a pro hurler?
I think I always dreamed of becoming an Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted a tattoo. When I was little, I wanted a tattoo of an Olympic symbol.
Olympus.
But then when I got to college, I guess my thought patterns kind of changed. I was like, I don't know if I'll make it to be a professional athlete. I'm not sure. And then I was actually going to go to school or do an internship to be a registered dietitian. But then I was like, it doesn't work out. I'm gonna give myself 2 years to see if I can really prevail and as a track athlete. And I gave myself 2 years, and I actually changed everything about my diet. I got lean. I had like six pack. Like I made sure like I was on it. Like if everything. So I give myself like that opportunity that if it was going to happen, it's going to happen like at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I zoned in, had visions of like what I wanted to be, and literally within that year, I ended up running 12:35, which was the number 10 fastest time in the world at the time, and I got sponsored by Nike. So it all worked out how it was supposed to work out. But it was definitely a transition that mentally I was prepared for, because I literally put everything into that moment of making sure that I'm giving myself 2 years. If it didn't work out, then I'm out, and it ended up working out.
And this was after college.
Yeah, after college. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let me know about your experience when it came to traveling and things of that nature, traveling and doing going to those meets. I'm pretty sure you traveled to a lot of places to run. You know what I'm saying? What was that atmosphere like going and traveling about those other areas and having to stay focused to coming out on top?
At first, my first meet out, I was literally just graduated college, and my agent threw me on a plane, and I was out there by myself. I think I went to Amsterdam, and that was an experience because when you usually travel, you travel with your friends or family, but it's literally like you have to figure out everything you need to figure out. And back then I didn't really have that much money, so I remember I think I had $100 from college in my bank account, and then we went to, I think I had a track meet in Amsterdam or some track meet over in Europe, and I was like, how am I gonna like survive in Europe? And then that same race, I ended up winning like 1,000 euros
Oh
in
wow.
cash, thankfully. And it ended up working out that way. But at first, it was a struggle until I got sponsored by Nike, trying to like succeed
Mm-hmm.
at the track meets in overseas. But overall, traveling has been a blessing. I got to see over like 20 different countries in Europe, Germany, Italy, London. Monaco's like one of my favorite places to go. But staying focused is pretty simple because the organizations, they give the athletes everything you need. They have food there, they have facilities, they have buses taking places. So they did a really good job at providing us with the best experience. But I made sure that one thing that I did was I did explore areas because I want to like go somewhere overseas and not visit,
Right, right,
like
right.
actually experience it. So I definitely took a lot of pictures and visited a lot of things. But one thing that track and field gave me was the opportunity to explore.
That's great. Track has been able to provide you with the opportunity, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
to go outside the US and run and compete, at the top level amongst other, greats and get that experience, you know what I'm saying? Going there knowing that your focus was business, you know what I'm saying? You still took
Mm-hmm.
advantage of the time you had there and you were a tourist, you know what I'm saying? You're able to
Right, right.
explore and enjoy it. Let me ask you, you say you walked away a meet with 1,000 euros. Is that where, and I don't want to get too personal into your finances, things of that nature, but how do track runners or athletes make their income? Generate their income? Is it coming from the bulk of their income coming from winning races, or is it coming from sponsorships and endorsements and things of that nature?
Right, right. And that's a good question because a lot of people don't know about track and field and how we make money. Basically, we make most of our money through sponsorship. So if you really aren't sponsored by like a shoe company or sponsor, it can get really hard to survive. But one thing that we do have is like we can win prize money from meets, and they have different certain meets that have more prize money like Diamond Lead. If you win a race, it's like $10,000 for first place,
Mm.
and then it can be up to $50,000 at the end of a certain meet. But that's one thing that if you don't have sponsorships, you might have to keep running more meets to actually make a living. But if you say you do have a sponsorship, you can make pretty good money,
Mm.
especially if you're at the top, because you can keep winning races, and that all adds up to
That's
like
going to
a
generate.
good amount. Yeah.
Right, 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 right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure you had some success in generating a good amount of money there again because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you're a top athlete winning a lot of races and things of that nature there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, can you tell me what the difference to you? I don't know if I can see it, but you let me know what the difference is between um, college track and pro track. You said that earlier that other girls were a lot more seasoned than you at LSU when you were a freshman. But what's the difference between college and a pro?
Even with college, it's still a team sport. So even when we go to competitions, it was always about getting points, like SEC championships. It was about how can I score the most points for my team. So even
Hmm.
though we were competitive individually, it was more the team aspect of we want to be national championship, like national champion. But then as professionals, more like I'm responsible for myself. Everything I do is going to have consequences on me. So I
Hmm.
had to be on it individually.
Right. Um, you're sponsored by Nike, you say. How's that experience been for you? Being a part of Nike, the brand of Nike speak for itself. That's a whole team and family within itself right there. How were they able to have your back and support you, throughout your career?
Yeah, it was good. I was able to represent them and their family of Nike and wear their logo and get gear and just be with them, especially during track meets. They'll have different um, little meetings that would promote you and give you the love that you needed.
Mm.
So it was an honor to be sponsored by Nike. I think a lot of athletes, would love a sponsorship, especially by Nike, and I'm glad that I was able to have it.
So Nike was throwing you free gear?
Well, it's like part of the contract. So if you're sponsored by Nike, you
Hmm.
automatically get free gear. Yeah.
Hey Nike, come holler at me. I need some. I need some, just a little bit. I don't want it all. I just need a little bit of it. So let me ask you here, what as a pro, what motivated you the most?
As a pro athlete, I
Hmm.
think what motivated me the most, because I think one of the reasons why I went pro is because I wanted to be Olympic or Olympian. So that motivated me mostly. But I wasn't able to reach that goal, unfortunately. But that was my motivation for sure, for sure.
Oh
I
no.
remember, yeah.
Go ahead. You remember what?
I'll say I remember. I remember running at my last Olympic trials in 2016, and that was like my focus. Like I was like, I'm making this team. Like nobody's gonna stop me.
Mm-hmm.
And I will. It was like the final day because the whole event was crazy. It was raining one day. It was cold one day. We got to the last day, and I saw myself winning. Like being on this team, and the gun goes off, and I'm running, and like I saw myself top three because top three goes to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the ninth hurdle. Like I literally saw myself. I think I saw like one girl ahead of me. I said, "Oh my god, I'm making this team." So I'm running, and all of a sudden I hit the ninth hurdle and failed.
Oh my God.
And that just like destroyed me. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, oh gosh.
Wow.
But
No,
yeah, so I
I
feel like
can
all my
definitely.
dreams are gone. It's
Mm-mm-mm.
that hurt, yeah.
Oh
But
yeah. I don't want to get too deep into that. But to hit that hurdle, boom, whatever touched that hurdle, and everything that happened after that, like what was your energy like? Well,
man,
the yeah, yeah.
I think I probably stayed in bed or cried in bed for about a week. Like just because like you can like feel it so close
Hmm.
and it doesn't happen like that. So
Were you in the States or was that out the US?
yeah, it was Olympic trials. So most
Okay.
of the times it happens in like Oregon.
I got
So Olympic trials in Oregon, yeah. So we'll have meets before the Olympics to see who makes the team,
you. Hmm.
and it's very very competitive. Like the person like you can be the top in the nation at the time, but if you don't execute that day, it's just
It didn't mean nothing. It didn't mean too
no.
much. Yeah. I have a question down here. You mentioned that your family was a sports family, but how supportive was your family throughout your career? Were they coming to a lot of your meets, and things of that nature?
Yeah, they're very supportive. They went to every meet, to be honest. My mom and dad would be out there with their umbrella, their water, their my lunch, making
Mm.
sure I was there. Like they really was supportive, and they went to every meet when I was younger. They drove everywhere, so that's something that I'm really truly thankful for to have that. Yeah.
For sure. I have another question down here. How did the hurdle impact your work ethic?
What hurdle? Like just like
That
being
hurdle,
small. How
yeah,
did
I'm assuming that one. Hmm.
when I fell?
Yeah.
It definitely changed my work ethic. I want to be the best. So even like the slightest mistake, it kind of irked my nerve, and I want to fix it. But definitely changed it, and it made me more aware to be more aware when I went over the hurdles and make sure I pay attention instead of like being so eager to win.
Hmm.
Just paying more attention to every hurdle.
Yeah. Excuse me. I also want to know with the weather climate and things of that nature. Does that impact your efforts, your race a lot?
Yes, most definitely. But I think too is low key mental because
Mm.
I ran one of my fastest times and it was like 40 degrees outside and it was like rain on the ground. So I think you have to prepare yourself for it, but it definitely can make a difference. But you have to block that out because some days it might be hot and perfect weather for running, but then it might be like 40 degrees and raining, or it might be a lot of wind. Like for us, wind makes a big difference
Hmm.
too.
So y'all different because y'all barely have on many much of a uniform. But me, I'm from Miami, Florida. I'm not a guy that do that cold weather, that cold, the wind, the rain. So I probably would have been out there bundled up, had on some tights or some out there running just to stay warm,
Right,
and which
right.
probably would have impacted my performance. But hey, I don't know. I probably would have made that adjustment later on down the road. Excuse me. Um, hey, you guys, thank y'all for checking in right now. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them below. We have a retired pro. Someone asked in the comments here, do you still run? She is retired, right? Let me ask you, what was that last run? Did that play a huge decision into you retiring? You said that you were giving yourself those 2 years, but after that, you say, hey, that's a wrap. I'm not gonna try to redeem or anything like that. I'm done.
No, like I ran after that. Like that was 2016. I started running professional 2015.
Oh yeah,
So
so not really.
I just retired in 2020. So I ran for about 5 years professional. The reason why I stopped running track because I ended up having a bulged disc in my back, which it was extremely painful running over hurdles. Like my sciatic nerve was like hitting my left hamstring, so it was really hard for me to run. So I had to make a decision to stop because I really want to go for the next Olympics, which will be this year. But it didn't work out. But
Right.
yeah.
Did that diagnosis there come from running track?
Yes, probably, yeah,
Yeah, more than
because
likely.
it came from my back and lifting on heavy weights and doing that, and especially the transition from my previous coach to my current coach that I had back then, it was a difference in intensity too. I don't think my body was used to how harder the workouts were.
I got you. Cool. So let me ask you. So with those who are pursuing pro athletic careers and just even their personal goals and such, what advice would you give to them?
I would say find your best coach, find a mentor, find somebody who's done it before, surround yourself with them. Definitely take your nutrition serious. A lot of athletes don't take nutrition serious. It's important. And make sure you stay focused because track is mostly mental, or any sports is mostly mental. So if you don't have that mentality of like I want to, be the best,
Mhm.
then you probably won't make it far. So definitely see yourself winning for sure, and always believe in yourself for sure.
So now being a retired pro athlete, you're transitioning into your second career. What are you working on? What are some things you mind sharing that you're working on? Again, you are heavy into the nutrition and things of that nature there. I do
Mm-hmm.
follow you. I appreciate it when you make posts about, nutritional facts and things of that nature there. So keep doing that because you're helping me. You know what I'm
All right,
saying? And
thanks.
for those who are tapped in right now, please go and follow her for all your nutritional needs and information there, okay? But so let us know what you got going on.
So I moved to Tampa, Florida, about a couple of months ago. Right now, I work as a holistic nutrition community manager for a supplement company, or a holistic supplement company. So I really enjoy working there. I still do uh, meal plans for people, and I want to continue to build my business on that. Work with like incorporate personal fitness with nutrition and help women, especially with that. But yeah, I'm passionate about nutrition more than anything because a lot of people can get fit through workouts, but the nutrition part is the hardest. So um, I want to focus on that. So
I
is it not
got
Tampa?
you. Nah, you say not Tampa because
Not Tampa.
Tom Brady out there.
Oh, Tampa.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tom Brady is out there.
Super Bowl.
Are you cheering or rooting for the Bucks now that you're out there, or do you like the
Yeah,
Chiefs?
now look, I'm a resident now, so I'm about to be down there like Tom Brady.
I feel you. I feel
And
you.
then I know a few people might have I had a somebody on the LSU track and field team who actually plays for Tampa, so
Okay.
I'm definitely supporting
Cool,
for
cool,
sure.
cool. How close are you to the LSU team, now and things of that nature? You go back and visit, you go back there and train and drop some gems out there to the upcoming track athletes?
I haven't been there since like a year ago or so, but I'm definitely close with the coaches and even the athletes. Some of the athletes who are number one now, I still train. I used to train with them, and
Mhm.
seeing them like perform so good now is amazing. But yeah, that definitely when I can, I'll shout them out and give them feedback and just support. Because I always be a tiger.
I
And
feel it.
go
For sure,
Tigers.
for sure. Y'all definitely have some species down there. What's her name?
Hmm.
Shakari
Yeah,
Richardson.
yeah, Shakari. Yeah, she
Um,
just graduated. She just left. Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah.
y'all have an upcoming. Well, they're a freshman now. I think her name is Simone Mason.
Oh yes,
Uh,
I've seen that. Yeah, Simone. Yeah,
she
I
went to
see.
my high school from back home in
Oh,
Miami. So
okay.
yeah, we have a Spartan out there.
All
So I'll be
right.
keeping my eyes out on her. Look like she's a sprinter, so she runs those
Mm-hmm.
faster events. So I keep my
Yeah.
eye out on her. But hey, look, I greatly appreciate you tapping in with us tonight. But I can't let you leave without asking you this question here, right? So with everybody who's tapped in tonight with us, who listened to your testimony, who's enjoyed this journey that you painted for us throughout your career, um, I have to ask you, Jasmin, what is your if factor?
My F factor, I'm gonna bring it back to kind of nutrition too
Hmm.
and health. If it wasn't for me changing um, my eating patterns and getting healthy and losing weight and building muscle mass, I wouldn't be would have been the athlete that I have become. So I think it's important to focus on healthy eating habits.
No, facts, and that's major. Like honestly, you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier that within the Black community, a lot of we tend to become obese. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And
right.
which I think for all of us out there, let's definitely take in what Jasmin has spoken about tonight when it comes to nutrition and things of that nature. Again, definitely go and follow her. So if you're looking to get fit, like myself, so again, I got your notifications turned on. You dropping those gems on the facts, on the nutrition and things of that nature there. I'm tapped in. You looking for her IG? Her IG is Miss Jazzy 4, MissJazzy 4. You may see that it's not pinned, but you may see it somewhere in there. I don't know what it looks like for you guys tuning in. No ice cream, yogurt only.
Right, that's correct.
Okay. Listen, I guess I got to go throw away my strawberry shortcake minis I got in the
Okay.
freezer. There's some ice cream cones. But yeah, I'm growing. The yogurt is growing on me. So
Mhm.
I'll be paying attention to a lot more of the foods that I put into my body and my system. Um, Jasmin, what a great show that you've given us tonight. Again, I greatly appreciate you tapping in with us and sharing your if factor for us tonight on this Friday. Again, everybody who has tapped in with us tonight, I greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all can definitely um, tap in next Friday. We have another special guest coming about. Hey, Jasmin, is there any last words that you want to give to us tonight?
This person says, how do you get so fast?
Wow.
How to get fast? I mean, great coaching. I had a great coach, Dennis Shaver, who knew a lot about speed techniques. So I think I'll give like the speed part his credit for sure. But yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Gotcha. Say, was there anything aside that question? Was there anything else that you wanted to share?
Um, no, I thought like you did have a really good interview session, and you asked a lot of great questions for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that there. Jasmin, reach out to me if there's anything you ever need. Again, you can tap into any of the shows. If you ever want to get back on here on live and go live with me, if you ever do a live and you need someone you want to speak with, you want to holler at, go ahead and hit me up. I'm open for it. I'm open to it. So thank you.
Oh
Enjoy the
yeah,
rest of your
absolutely.
Friday.
You too.
All right, take care.
All right, bye.
Cool. Hey, y'all. We just had Jasmin Stowers tapped in with us tonight on the fifth episode of If Factor Friday Live, right? Like I said, you guys, follow her journey, follow her second career as she transitioned into a second career. And you guys stay tuned because next week we will have another special guest, okay? I'll see you next week. Peace.